everybody, and welcome to today's edition of HCAM Sports Talk. I'm your host, Tom Nappi, and joining me for this segment, we have Morgan Donahue and Steve Watson. Guys, it's good to be back in the studio. How are you, Morgan?
Doing fantastic. It's been a little bit. I missed you guys. So happy to be back, get the band back together.
Yes. Steve, how are you?
It's good. It's a fantastic time of year. Sox are in the playoffs. Football's entering week 5. It's all good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We sent Andy and Jared out on assignment tonight, so they won't be joining us. We're recording on a Monday, so they're watching the Monday Night Football games and taking notes for us. So that's their job for the night. But we have a loaded show for you today. We're going to be talking some NFL. And we haven't really had a chance to connect this NFL season so far because we've all been busy at different high school games and whatnot. So we'll go through our picks, see how everybody's doing, recap what happened in the wild week it was in week 4, and we'll have our week 5 picks and plus some other stuff. So it's going to be a great show. And we'll talk some Red Sox as well. MLB playoffs. Can you believe it? It's already here. Red Sox will be taking on the New York Yankees in the wild card round, best of 3. So that should be interesting. But first, let's start with a little bit of high school sports. You guys have both been covering your fair share of high school sports. Morgan, of course, you're with Westwood Media Center covering those Westwood Wolverines. And I understand they're having a great fall season. And looking at the standings, it looks like Hopkinton and Westwood in a lot of the sports neck and neck right at the top.
Yeah, so after the first swing of the TVL Large, it's interesting how they set these schedules up where you kind of go through the TVL Large like immediately, so you got to have your game ready to go. And Hopkinton, for the most part, got the better of Westwood in that first swing. Boys soccer did tie Hopkinton 2-2, but girls soccer won, field hockey won. Football hasn't played, which we're looking forward to that game in October.
Absolutely.
But volleyball got the win. Those two are always, competitive and rivals, when it comes to that when you look at the playoffs last year. But I'm very much looking forward to the second go-around, which will start in a couple weeks, where they'll get the second look. And that's when you really see the pieces of who is going to be chasing after a TVL Large title. It's a lot of bragging rights.
Yeah.
And Hopkinton's won a ton. You walk into that gym, and there's a lot of flair on that wall. And Westwood takes notice. Certainly they do when they walk in that gym. Right now, I really like the positioning for boys and girls soccer. I think that those teams started off great, and they're getting better. Girls played Hopkinton, somewhat close. We did that game. It was a great game. And I'm looking forward to when they play again. You're looking at two teams that are going to be different teams from the first time they played each other.
Right.
But I like what I see so far from from Westwood and all their sports right now. Field hockey's getting better. They had a tough schedule, but it's early. We only just got through the first power rankings for the MIAA, which came out on Friday. So still very much early. But now is also where teams are getting closer to qualifying for the state tournament too. So that's always exciting. But good so far, and very much excited for the second half, and looking to do some more collaboration as we get to meaningful Westwood and Hopkinton games.
Oh, so the first ones weren't meaningful. I think you're saying that because Hopkinton won those games.
Well, it may or may not, but there's going to be a little bit more on the line in the second half.
There certainly will. I mean, it's amazing once the season gets going. Once you get into the middle of September, it just flies by, and the games get more and more important. As we get down the stretch here during these fall season days. Steve, you're covering a lot of Nipmuc, a lot of Milford. How's the high school sports world going for you?
So far, so good. It's hard to believe we're almost halfway through the fall season already. We're already on the 5th week for some teams in football. So Milford's off to a 3-1 start, and you guys know Milford doesn't back down from anyone. They book hard non-conference games. Beat Westfield to start the year, then beat Leominster on the road to avenge that loss from last season. Beat Wellesley. Lost Natick last week, unfortunately, so looking to rebound. They travel down to Barnstable this week, so they're going to be very well traveled when all is said and done.
That was their first regular season loss in a while, wasn't it?
Well, they went 3-5 in the regular season last year. The first one.
Okay.
They haven't lost many under Coach Olson in non-conference play though. They've done really well in the non-conference portion. Yeah, and then Nipmuc beat DS to start the year. A couple tough back-to-back losses the last 2 weeks to Uxbridge and Medfield. Medfield, as you know, has a fantastic team this year.
Yep.
They put up a lot of points and very hard to stop. So they take on Monty Tech for homecoming this week. So looking forward to that.
Yes.
And so the season seems like it just started, but we're already just about the halfway point. It flies by.
It really does fly by. Just goes so fast, but so much fun, and we're loaded with coverage here on HCAM. We got field hockey, of course, boys and girls soccer, girls volleyball, and big football game against St. John's coming up as well. So that'll take place this Friday, a 6 p.m. kickoff for that one. So we are certainly looking forward to that. But great fall season for the Hillers so far. Girls soccer undefeated and still has not given up a goal. So hopefully,
Giving up a goal?
they have not given up a goal. They have outscored their opponents
Westwood
28-0.
Westwood hit a couple posts that game.
They did. Westwood should have.
They should have had a goal.
They were the closest to scoring a goal that I've seen against the Hiller girls.
It was like a 3-minute stretch of like post save, and it was like, all right, Westwood's looking good.
Yes.
Wow, what a story. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Just really good defense, really well coached, and they're a fairly young team too. The girls lost a lot of seniors last year, but it doesn't matter. They just keep going and end up being at the very top of the TVL and fighting for that league title. So very impressive program, but they have been a ton of fun to watch this year. And I think any team that can outscore their opponents 28-0 is a lot of fun to watch. But we'll see if the success continues. I'm sure it will. But as you said, a lot of big division games coming up. Pretty much the second go-around of the TVL showdown, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And Steve, you had a chance to witness Brady McCormack from Medfield. What an athlete he is, huh?
So that game was over at Nipmuc on Saturday, and I swear I was saying his name in my sleep going into Sunday because he scored 4 touchdowns in the game, and it was just all over the place. He's that type of running back. He can get a few yards without even trying.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like he just moves forward and he gets a few yards. It's just so hard to stop. You can see why Medfield has got so many points this year. They put up a lot in the Hillers too, of course. So yeah, this was saying his name a lot and was hearing his name a lot in my head after the game too.
Yeah, he's someone to look out for, that's for sure. Certainly, I'd say a candidate in the TVL for most valuable player. He'll end up being 4 touchdowns in that game against Nipmuc, and he has made quite a name for himself. But just so many good, tremendous athletes throughout the area, throughout the TVL, and we're fortunate enough to get to witness a lot of them, Morgan.
Yeah, we had, so Ty Pindell, quarterback for your Westwood Wolverines. We're going to say all Westwood Wolverines because we're Westwood fans here, right?
Oh, no. No, absolutely not. Hopkinton all the way right
But
here.
Ty Pindell, in the week 2, so Westwood has a bye week for week 1, but week 2, he broke the single game passing record for 458 passing yards.
Wow.
And I believe he had 5 touchdown passes. He's an elite talent. He's a big boy, 6'5", about 210. He can run as well. But the TVL, very impressive. They played Bellingham the following week. Bellingham went out there and had an impressive win over Westwood. I believe it was like 28-7. So there's no free win in the TVL right now. I hear Ashland has picked up their game. Hopkinton last year was kind of a down year, but I'm hearing this year they've been very impressive. So it's going to be for a very tough battle for anyone that wants the TVL large and small. Really,
absolutely. And speaking of the TVL small, I recently had the chance to check out Bellingham and Dedham, which you'll be able to see a glimpse of on our TVL Sportsnet show, which will be returning. First episode is due to premiere on October 8th, so be on the lookout for that. But Bellingham, very impressive team. They started a little rough in the non-league games, but have really picked it up, and they got big wins over, I believe it was Medfield and Dedham now. So they're a team that's cruising along through league play and expected to do big things. Very talented group over in Bellingham. So very competitive fall season throughout the TVL and really just about any sport.
one thing too, I just want to say, the TVL non-league games, they did a really good job of scheduling tough teams. So the loss that Bellingham had was Woburn. That's a big team.
Yeah.
And you're mentioning Hopkinton's playing St. John's. Like Westwood last week played Malden Catholic. So these are you got to give them credit.
Westwood is D2, Malden Catholic's D1, I believe. So they're scheduling up. So the good thing about that, if you're Westwood, even in the event of a loss, which unfortunately they lost in that game, they still get those playoff points. And that's why a lot of these teams are scheduling tougher opponents to get those playoff points. And Steve, I know you've talked about this a lot, how you're going to see teams schedule a lot tougher with the playoff system in place for football. Yeah,
and a footnote about the Woburn-Bellingham game, that wasn't booked until, I think, a week or two before. So I think Bellingham was supposed to play Blackstone Millville. There's a lot of reshuffling because Sutton Douglas dropped out. So with the Central Mass schedule, there's a lot of reshuffling. I don't know exactly what happened, but they wound up playing Woburn, so they wound up going all the way up there. But to your point, Tom, yes, the scheduling, the state tournament is here to stay. It works. And, if you want a good power rating, you can't book all cupcakes. You can't do it.
That's right.
That's what we've been doing over in Milford. As long as the Olsons have been there, schedule up in non-conference and never back down from a challenge. And, there's some games, even if you lose, it doesn't really hurt your rating too much. If you book a hard schedule, you do get rewarded in this system for it. So, of course, with conference games, you don't really have a say. I know the Hillers have kind of had that issue in some years in the past under this system. So, in that case, you try and book some harder non-conference games like St. John's. They're going to play. St. John's is a D1 school. So that, I think regardless of the outcome Friday will actually help their power rating. So, I do. I think you're going to see more and more of it. And you should. Yeah. You should have the good teams playing good teams. And, you shouldn't be trying to schedule down and try and just, find a win there.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was a case of a lot of teams trying to schedule down. I think it's kind of just fitting an opponent, where it fits.
Of course, it's a lot easier said than done because it's up to the schools to book their own non-conference games. It's not like it's done by a centralized source.
Right.
You don't want it to rip your confidence out. You go play a team and they rip you 56-0. You want to be able to go in there and make a close game, get a win. Some of them are going and getting a win. I mean, that Bellingham Woburn game was 7-0.
Well,
defensive battle.
Yeah, and to your point, Morgan, like you wouldn't want, say, like Millis, a small Division 8 school, playing like Central Catholic.
No.
That's not something that you want. But D3 teams should be playing D1 teams. And, if you're D45, maybe you should book a D3 team.
Yeah.
I think we should just pick all the matchups out of a hat and see what happens. I'm just
kidding. Hey, that's how we do some of our NFL picks. So it's been working out.
That's what it seems like.
Well, you know what? We might have better records if we did it like that. But we will get to the NFL picks shortly. But first, of course, we got to mention the Boston Red Sox. We haven't talked baseball in a while. They're going to the playoffs, and they're getting ready to start the wild card round against the New York Yankees. And I guess my only thought about this really is, let's face it, the Yankees, they have more experience. The Red Sox are young, and it's great they're here. I love the chemistry that the Red Sox seem to have, and these young guys that they got are really rising to the cause here this season, and the fact that they were able to get into the postseason, very impressive. They're going to have a tough time with the Yankees. I think it is absolutely essential that the Red Sox win Game 1 if they want to take the series because they have their ace going, Crochet. So if you lose that game, I mean, pitching is a big question mark after Crochet with the Red Sox. So I think Game 1 is essential. But, Steve, any thoughts on Red Sox-Yankees?
My thoughts are essentially the exact same as yours. So by the time this airs, it'll be Wednesday. Game 1 will be over and done with. But if you're going to win the series, you got to win Game 1. Yeah. You have Crochet on the mound. If you can win Game 1, then you force the Yankees to win 2 straight. You keep them chasing. And if the Sox lose, then you've already spent your ace, and I just don't love their odds. So it really hinges on what they do in Game 1.
Right. Morgan?
Yeah, I think the pressure's on the Yankees. They're at home playing the Red Sox, who have nothing to lose. But I think the Yankees are that talented where it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, and that's the scariest thing sometimes when you're playing a team that They have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They're just going to leave it all out there.
Yeah.
Because even if the Sox get knocked out this round, everyone's just going to be happy that they made the playoffs, as they should be. So they got nothing to lose. They don't have the pressure on them. The Yankees have the pressure on them.
So this is interesting, too, because I bet you half of the state of Massachusetts know that the Red Sox are in the playoffs. There was really no buzz and excitement around it, but it's not too late. I think if the Red Sox can go out and win Game 1, then 75% of Massachusetts will be like, oh, they're in the playoffs and they won a game. I got to get behind this team.
Well, they'll know now because we mentioned it on the show.
Of course. We looked at the numbers on the last episode, and the millions and millions of viewers that we had, will certainly show us the percentages of the outreach that we have. But you know what? It was an exciting way to get in the playoffs. I mean, a walk-off triple,
Right.
to clinch. But like you said, Garrett Crochet, what a pitcher for the Red Sox. I was going to say the Wolverines. But what a pitcher for the Red Sox. He can get 8 innings, 9 innings, and win a game for the Red Sox. If you get 1 or 2 across the plate, he can certainly do that. The challenge, though, is the guys after him. And then, the injury with Giolito.
Right.
He's not going to be able to be available in the Yankee series. So, but I don't think that matters to the Red Sox. When you are a team that has to play potentially three games on the road, which if you get to Game 3, like, you're doing something well, but 3 games on the road, you're going to have to be scrappy, find different ways. You're going to have to get a bullpen guy in there or get a starter to go into the bullpen as well. Just whatever it does.
Or maybe do what the Hillers did in the playoffs. Have a different guy every inning.
7. I could not believe that. When you told me that, I had to tune in and see it for myself. And what a scenario. 7 different pitchers in 7 innings to win a playoff game.
And it worked one time. It almost worked the second time, but they ended up losing that game 1-0.
Oh, my gosh.
But, they did that 2 games and only gave up 1 run. So that's pretty impressive.
Now, question for you guys. The City Connect jerseys have been somewhat popular. The green ones. Do you roll those out? And does that kind of would be a little mind, it'd be in the back of my mind if I'm the Yankees. I'd be like, oh, man, these guys are looking sharp. Obviously, You kind of have to do the home and away. But if they're wearing, like, neutral, where you can make that decision, do you go with the greens?
I love the green jersey, so I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I would if they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Because they have 6 wins with those uniforms. They're all walk-off wins, which is a pretty crazy stat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should wear them.
But, the Yankees are well ahead of that. They're going to make sure they're wearing, like, the grays, like the 1995 gray, just Boston.
Right. They'll bring back Aaron Boone and throw him in the lineup.
Bucky Dent is going to, throw the ceremonial pitch. They're going to play all the cards.
Oh, absolutely. Half of it is mind games as well. So.
Yeah.
But, the best thing about a best-of-3 series, anything can happen. You just got to win 2 games. So anything can happen. An upset is very possible in this series. I don't rule it out at all. And we know this Sox team, they could get red hot sometimes and really string it together. Doing that against, this hungry Yankees team who has been a letdown for the great Yankees fans over in the New York lately, I'm sure they are. They know that the pressure's on this year, so they're really going to be trying to take it all since they haven't been able to in recent years. But this Sox team, I mean, they could definitely do it. Anything could happen in this best-of-3.
Wouldn't be surprised. If it happened, I wouldn't be saying to myself, "Oh my God, I did not have that on my bingo card." I just know that anyone can. It's a playoff. Anything can happen.
So with that, let's do predictions.
I'm predicting Yankees sweep.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to say the Sox take Game 1 with Crochet and then lose the other 2.
All right, I will say the Sox win the series and wind up getting at least a home game at Fenway.
Wow. Okay, I like it.
Save the clip. Save
There
the
it
clip.
is.
Hopefully I'm right.
So you're either going to look like a genius,
Yes.
or
Or I'll look like I have on our picks, which is not great.
Yes.
You'll either look like a genius or a clown. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I hope you look like a genius though, as a Red Sox fan.
Yes.
So I like it though. Very bold prediction from Steve there.
Yes.
All right. So you heard it here first. Steve predicts the Sox. Good sign going into that series for the Sox. And Morgan just thinks they're going to get shut out, so he's secretly a Yankees fan, but that's okay. All right. So it should be a fun series. Best of luck to the Red Sox. So glad they're finally in the playoffs. What a relief, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, about time.
Yeah, they haven't been in 4 years. October around here is so much better when they're in the playoffs.
Now, I'll tell you this. Next year, all right, so the expectation this year was get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Next year, it's going to be more than that. You got to do more than that.
Well, assuming that they don't make a run this year.
Right.
Because the whole goal is to get to the playoffs. And everyone's thrilled because it's a big step in the right direction. This team was.
Well, if they make a run this year and go 72-90 next year.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't be good enough. But let's face it, this franchise, before they hired Breslow as a GM, was lost. Just wandering in the wilderness, no direction, no nothing.
Right.
And they brought in some nice pieces the last 2 years. Last year they were an okay team. They were in the middle of the pack. Then this year they finally, you get over that hump, make the playoffs. A lot of folks back in June when they traded away Devers thought that they were waving the white flag and this team was done. You remember Craig Breslow said, I wouldn't be shocked if we wind up being better off than, if we didn't make the trade. Well, he was right.
Yeah.
Because it did work out. And look how the Giants did after that trade. Crash and burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But he didn't do that bad on the Giants, though.
Well, it's not that he did, just that team.
The Giants did, yeah.
Right.
They weren't going anywhere.
Whereas the Sox went up, the Giants went down.
To piggyback off Steve, like, if anyone were to say in the beginning of the season the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs, we would have said, you're crazy. The fact that they made the playoffs.
Or even mid-season.
Yeah. I mean, they started off awful.
Right.
And they ripped off game after game, in June or July, whereas like people like, just when I'm out, I'm back in.
Yep.
Yep.
And they started just going a roll. And the beginning of the season, no one expected them to even qualify for the playoffs. They just didn't have the guys. They didn't have the brands. They didn't have the people that were going to, had that in their game to go out and win games.
Yeah, and it was really
Proved us
iffy
wrong.
even going down to the final weeks of the season if they were going to get in.
Yeah.
Because they had some rough patches
Very
there,
slippery,
but
yeah.
they were able to overcome it and
They did.
just slide right in there.
Yeah,
so.
it seems like this team does pretty well when people don't expect them to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they'll have a hot streak. People will start to have faith in them, and then they'll lose like 2 out of 3 to the A's or the Pirates, just some of the lousy team like that.
Well, there you go. No one's expecting them to do well in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
and then
They
right
can
after
win it
that,
all.
they'll go, take 3 out of 4 from the Yankees. So, it's been a roller coaster of a season. So,
Yes.
hopefully, with them pushing the playoffs, and hopefully, we're riding, up right now.
They do well when they don't sell out the stadium. And you don't hear the consecutive sellout streak that we used to hear for year over year,
Yeah, I know.
Every night for
Right.
10 plus years.
Even for many years and months when that sellout streak ended a long time ago. All right, but we are, the show is just cruising along, and we got a lot to get to. So one thing we decided we wanted to do on the show today is our top 5 NFL power rankings. So we're going to do those, and then we're going to get into our weekly picks as time is quickly running out on this segment. But so we're going to name our top 5 NFL teams so far this season. We're going into what, week 5 now already?
Week 5 starting
Just
this week.
flying by. So Jared and Andy were unfortunately not able to join us, but I do have their top 5 power rankings. So why don't I start with those, and then we'll go around the table. So Andy's top 5, he's got the Rams number 5, and it's the best one's number 1. Rams number 5 at 3-1. Lions number 4 3-1. Chiefs number 3 at 2-2. Bills number 2 at 4-0, and the Eagles at number 1. Jared is Chiefs, Rams, Lions, Bills, Eagles number 1. So yeah, I'm in agreement with the Eagles there. Unless you could beat the champs, I don't think you could dethrone them from the top of the power rankings. Steve, we'll start with you. What are your top 5 NFL teams?
So
right
top
now?
5, you want 5 down to 1 or 1 down to 5?
5 down to 1.
5 down to 1. So at 5,
Worst to first.
So at 5, I have the Rams, who are a blocked kick away from being 4 for 4. Then I have the Seahawks at 4.
Okay.
And then I got Detroit at 3. And then the 2 unbeaten teams, I got the Bills at 2 and Philly at 1. I think, as you said, until someone can beat the Eagles, then they're going to stay in that top spot. because they haven't played their best football yet. You know, eventually they will.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Eagles, they've already had some tough games that they were able to get the win in, and they look good this year. I mean, they're definitely going to be competing for another title this season. Morgan, what are your top 5 power rankings?
So at number 5, I got the Chiefs. That was a very impressive win they had on Sunday. You know, anytime you beat Baltimore, I don't care if you're at home, that's an impressive win. I would have had the Rams there, but the blocked field goal attempt, I did have them with the spread, and them taking it back for a touchdown. Really, I won't forget that for weeks to come. You know, so they're penalized. They're in top 5 prison. So, you know, they're gonna have to win. We win a few more to impress me to throw them in the top 5. But number 4, the Packers. Regardless of losing to Cleveland, my goodness.
Well, what about tying the Cowboys?
You know what? They beat up on the Detroit earlier, so you gotta factor that in. But they look good, even in the tie versus the Cowboys. They started off early.
And I have a question for a sports historian over here. Has there ever been a tie, especially in a prime? Well, not in an NFL game, I know that, but in a primetime game, a Sunday night game.
Yes.
Really?
I remember it was Cardinals Seahawks. I think it was 6-6, in like 2017 or 18. Because I want to say there was like 4 or 5 missed field goals, and I remember I was like drooling on myself laughing so hard because both teams were just so incompetent.
And that's why we call him our sports historian.
Yes.
Because he remembers
Encyclopedia.
He remembers a 6-6 game between who was it, the Cardinals and Seahawks?
Cardinals Seahawks, and this was in the Dome, out in Glendale.
Wow.
I think it was 2017 or 2018, like around that time frame somewhere.
See, this game was the polar opposite of that one. That one was just a travesty.
Yeah.
This game was just crazy offense.
Yeah.
Steve's like, it was 25-cent wing night at Wendell's, and I hit the 3 spot in Keno. Like, what a memory! What a memory. Number 3, I got the Lions. They look really well after that opening week loss to Green Bay. They've rebounded nicely. Number 2, the Bills. Got to see them in live this past weekend. You know what? They beat the Saints, and the Saints are winless, but the Saints are going to win a game. They're getting close.
Someday.
You know, someday. They're not exactly back to the ain't status, you know, the early days where they couldn't win anything, but I think that they're going to surprise you, you know, and chip off a win where we least expect it, but it's not going to be anytime soon. But they did put a little scare in the Bills, you know, somewhere in the middle of the game. Bills then pulled away. Yeah. Did well. And then the Eagles, very convincing win on the road in Tampa Bay. That was a very big win. Tampa Bay's a good team. Tampa Bay was a potential top 5 team.
Devastating loss for them, though, this past week.
That was a tough one, but they'll rebound. It's a long season.
Yes. But, I mean, you got to just love how Baker Mayfield just battles.
Yeah.
He is one tough cookie, I'll tell you.
He is.
All right, so I like it, and I think for the most part we're in agreement on a lot of things, but there are some differences. Number 5, I have the Chiefs. They're 2-2, I know. There's a lot of 3-1 teams that you could consider, including the Steelers, Colts, Jags, Bucks, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, all 3-1. But you got to put the Chiefs in that top 5 because let's face it, they had a really tough schedule to start. They lost to the Chargers, which, you know, division rivalries I think could happen at any time, regardless of record. So I don't put a lot into those when I'm doing these power rankings. Really, it's, in my opinion, the top 5 teams that have the best chance to win the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs got to be in there, and they lost to the Eagles, who is number 1 for most people. And they beat the Ravens this past week, so a really good win for them. And I think the Chiefs are starting to come alive, so look out. I think they're going to be getting a lot more wins and really pick up the pace. Number 4, I got the Chargers. The Chargers, they beat the Chiefs, which was huge. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Broncos. All division rivals, but all tough division rivals. So they did lose to the Giants, but I just think that was more of a fluky thing than anything else. Number 3, I got the Lions, who have really picked it up since a tough Week 1 loss. Week 1 you almost can't even consider. It's kind of just working out the kinks. And really, you know, 3-4 weeks down the road, you see who was the quickest at working out kinks, and the Lions have clearly worked out the kinks. Number 2, I got the Bills, who just look amazing. What a win against the Ravens, an amazing comeback win. What was that, week 1, I think? And then they beat Jets, Dolphins, Saints, so pretty good by them. And number 1, of course, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. How can you not have them at number 1 after winning the Super Bowl and still being undefeated going into this season? So there it is, our top 5 power rankings. And with that, we'll get to picks, and we're going to embed our Patriots thoughts in our NFL picks, since we're running a little low on time here for this segment. Our Week 4 NFL picks, not bad, not great, at least for me and Steve, who tied for last at 7-6-1. And that tie's so obnoxious. Now I have to put the tie in our records. Mm-hmm. Do you know how annoying that is?
All of them, yeah.
We should just, maybe games that are ties, we just don't even count. But, yeah, so we had 7-6-1. Me and Steve finished last. Morgan, you were 8-5-1, so you picked up a game on us. Andy, who is in first place overall, was 9-4-1, and Jared 10-3-1. He won the week, and he's only a game out of first place. And yes, I picked Carolina over the Patriots, and that was a mistake. Carolina is terrible, and they proved this week that the win they randomly got a couple weeks ago over Atlanta was a total fluke. Mm-hmm. So, What an awful team Carolina is. They didn't even deserve to be on the same field as the Patriots. They just got decimated. So that was probably my worst pick of all time.
Did get off to a quick start.
It did, yeah, it did. Well, yeah, at first I'm like, okay, well, maybe I will pull off the upset, but no, that thought quickly ended. Overall records, Andy is number 1, 44-17. Jared is 43-18. I'm in third now at 41-20. Morgan, 39-22. He's in fourth, and Steve is in last place at 38-23.
Last place.
He's right in there. We're all right in there.
We are.
But Andy's starting to pull away, so I'm getting a little nervous. But who knows? Andy tends to pick some crazy upsets, so maybe we'll be able to catch him. But he's picking well, I must say. But I think we're all picking well. We're all above 500. That's the important thing. We all are doing better than Mike Tarosian would have done or something like that. I'm just kidding, Mike. All right. And a big thank you to Mike, who's helping put together our studio edition of HCAM Sports Talk tonight. Let's get to our Week 5 NFL picks. Some great games coming up this week. Thursday Night Football, big division rivalry. 49ers at the Rams. 49ers had a tough loss last week. And, should they have maybe put Mac Jones back in after Brock Purdy came back? It was terrible.
Well, I just don't think Brock Purdy is completely healthy.
Right.
That seems to be the issue with that.
Yes. That does seem to be the issue. Did they bring him back too soon? Morgan, any thoughts about that situation?
Yeah, I think when you come back from injury, there's more than just the actual physical injury. You need the mental reps. Mm-hmm. You need that confidence, that timing with your receivers on routes, and they were off. And Mac Jones, got to give him credit. Guy won some games. He's still in the NFL and doing it. So he's starting to reemerge as a really qualified backup. So, shout out to him after a great bounce back from Jacksonville.
Absolutely. All right, and with that, let's get to the pick. Andy's going Rams. I'm going to go Rams. They're at home. I think it'll be a close game, and hopefully Brock Purdy is healthy enough to play a little bit better. But these two teams always give each other a good game, so it should be a really good Thursday Night Football matchup. Steve, who do you got?
Honestly, really tight. You have two defenses who can get the job done. They've proven that. But I'm going to go with the Rams in this one.
All right, there it is. Morgan.
I'm going to go Rams as well.
Rams across the board. All right, and then we move on to the Sunday games. We have another Sunday morning game, this time from London. Last week it was, Dublin, the first game in Ireland. Always got to love the European games. They're starting to really love our sport over there. So who knows? Maybe we'll have an expansion and have some European teams in there. You never know what Goodell's thinking. All right, so we got Vikings at the Browns. Andy's going Minnesota. I'm going Minnesota as well. I don't take the Browns that seriously. They have a decent defense, but the Vikings, they did good in Ireland, and, well, they lost, but they're close. But I think they'll get a win in England. Morgan, who do you got?
I'm going with the Vikings as well. The Browns are the Browns. I think that was the theme of week 1. The Browns are the Browns.
Yes. Steve?
The Vikings.
Vikings across the board. All right, moving to the 1 p.m. games. We have Texans at the Ravens. Is anyone going to risk it and go Texans?
Yes.
Wow. All right. Explain yourself.
I don't like the way Baltimore's playing at all. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. I'm not sure if Jackson is going to play or not. And, yeah, they started off slow last year,
That's
too.
a good point.
Right. So they started slow last year. They got it on track. There's no guarantee it's going to happen this year. They're 1-3, and they really have not played well. Derrick Henry has had issues hanging on the football. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed. And, Houston, yeah, they're 1-3, but if they can get their offense going, they're going to get some wins like they did over the Titans this week. So their defense has been very good. It's just a matter of scoring some points. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Texans in the road upset.
All right. I am not going to take the – well, and by the way, I want to mention on that note, these picks are subject to change.
Yes. We don't know about the hammy. We don't know
That's
about
right. Because if we find out Lamar Jackson's not playing, there's a very good chance I might change my pick in this game.
It's a very good chance.
But the good news is you can catch the final picks on the HCAM website as we post them each and every week at hcam.tv, and we get those out there before the Sunday game. So you'll be able to see our final picks over at our website, hcam.tv. But for now, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Morgan, who do you got?
I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. They might be the best 1-3 team in 1-3 team history.
But if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, I mean,
it's subject to change.
That's right.
Yeah. Unless they got Chase Daniel as a backup, I'm probably going to change it. But we're sticking with the Ravens for now.
Yes. All right. This is probably the best matchup of the week. Giants at the Saints.
Game of the week.
I'll start. Andy's going Giants. I agree. I am going Giants, and I'll tell you why. I think moving to Jackson Dart as the starter is the way to go. I like Dart. I like what I saw out of him this past week. He beat the Chargers. I mean, the guy's impressive. I've been impressed with him since college and training camp, and I think the Giants are onto something here, and you might actually see an improved Giants team. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs or anything like that, but I like what I see out of Dart, so I'm going to go Giants here. Steve, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Saints. As Morgan said, they have to win a game eventually, and they're at home following a 2-game road trip. Yes, the Giants won last week, but it's one game, and Jackson Dart is still a rookie quarterback.
All right. Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I got to see them live this past. I got to see them live yesterday. Feels like a week ago. All the travel, but I mean, Rattler, Olave, Johnson, the running backs, Kamara. There's this guy number 5. I kept joking around. He looked like Reggie Bush out there wearing the same jersey number. And for those reasons, and those reasons only, I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Oh.
I think the Giants
a
have
little
something
trickery
good going.
there.
Yes, yeah. Making sure everyone's awake.
I already had Saints written on my sheet.
Making sure people aren't asleep at the wheel, But they have some weapons. I just don't think this is going to be the week. I think the Giants have something good brewing.
All right, there it is. Right now, it's 3 for the Giants and Steve for the Saints. Who will prevail? We should find out. All right, and games that we're not going to pick since we are recording this on a Monday during Monday Night Football. Dolphins at the Panthers. You can see that pick at our website, hcam.tv, as well as Cowboys at Jets and Broncos at Eagles. Moving to the 4 o'clock games, we got the Titans at the Cardinals. Another matchup of very questionable teams. The Titans, they got nothing going for them whatsoever. Cardinals are at home. Give me the Cardinals. Andy picked the Cardinals as well. Morgan, who do you got?
Cardinals.
Steve?
There's a game that you skipped, by the way.
What game?
Colts Raiders.
I did skip that
Yeah,
one,
you
didn't
did.
I? All right, we'll go
But
back
at
to
any rate, Titans are absolute garbage. Brian Callahan is an absolute buffoon of a coach. I cannot believe the Titans fired Mike Vrabel to hire that guy. What a mistake. I don't think the Cardinals romp him.
All right, there it is. And I was making sure Steve was paying attention, so intentionally skipped a 1 o'clock game. Las Vegas Raiders at the Indianapolis Colts. I'll tell you what, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the Colts. They are playing some good football. They are competing with the best of the best and sometimes beating good teams as well. They're 3-1. I got to go Colts here. Andy agrees. He's going Colts as well. Morgan, I believe you owe someone an apology.
I sure do. I joked around on the first episode calling Danny Dimes the human meme. And, he earned it. There's no question about it. He earned it with his time with the Giants. Like, a lot of questionable decisions and, like, his facial expressions for it. Like, we thought Eli set the standard for, like, the facial expressions after a bad play. Danny Dimes, it was just, like, nothing behind the eyes. But this man has changed. He has shown that, hey, people, you can change. Mac Jones changed, but not at the level of Danny Dimes is 3-1. I got to give a shout out to Danny Dimes. You have moved my opinion on you, and he's getting. I was considering top 5, not there yet, but yeah.
They're right on the fringe, though.
I got to go with the Colts this week, but I owe you an apology, Danny. I am sorry from the deepest part of my heart. You are no longer a human meme. We'll come up with another.
You know who the actual meme was? The New York Giants. I think that's what the case was.
Yeah, he had there was a lot of different parties. It was a lot of people involved with those struggles over the years. But I guess as a quarterback, you have to you're the face of the franchise, so.
Absolutely. Steve, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Colts.
There it is.
I also have a name for Danny Dimes. It's a vulgar name, so I'm not going to say it here. And no, I'm not apologizing for it because I still call him that. And I'm not apologizing to the Colts either. They're only through 4 weeks. But they are a lot better than I thought they'd be.
They are.
And they played a really good Rams team very tight in that game.
Yes.
They're nearly 4-0.
If they were 4-0, I'd put them in the top 5.
It's the same. Yeah, I agree.
That one play.
Yeah, it was just that one play towards the end. It was a tight game the whole way, really. And you play in a Raiders team who, let's be honest, they just haven't been impressive. They should have beat Chicago the other day. Couldn't get it done.
You think Tom Brady regrets buying in?
I don't think he regrets buying in. And
the Patriots made him look like, the Bills.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Raiders, even though they beat us out here, they just don't really do much for me. The Colts have looked so much better than they have.
All right, so we are Colts across the board. All right, now moving back to the 4 o'clock games. Bucks at the Seahawks. Andy has the Seahawks. I disagree. I can't go against my boy Baker. Give me the Bucks. Morgan.
I'm piggybacking off that. I'm going Bucks.
Steve.
You're going to go with Seahawks. They're off to an impressive start. Going to be a fun sports day in Seattle. The Mariners are playing on Sunday as well. They might have to shift the time of the game down, I heard, with the Seahawks. So, yeah, we have fun times in Seattle, and the Seahawks have looked good. And not that the Bucks haven't. The Bucks have looked good. And this is going to be a tight game, but I'll take Seattle and the 12th man at home.
Yeah, if they have the Seahawks playing, no one will see that poor Mariners playoff game.
Steve is the source. He knows the baseball
really
times, which parking lot is going to be the issue, with the proximity.
He's like an encyclopedia. In fact, that's your new nickname, the
He's the human encyclopedia over here.
That's why we have him on the show.
Steve Britannica.
He makes us look good,
Instead of those 2 a.m. late night, encyclopedia commercials, we're just going to sell his brain.
Yeah,
we got the guy right here, ChatGPT of football knowledge.
All right, we got to get back to the picks now.
Yes.
We'll talk about selling Steve's brain later. All right, so we got Commanders at the Chargers. I guess this is a pick that is tough. Who's going to quarterback for the Commanders? Do we know yet? I don't think so.
I don't think we have word. And they lost to Atlanta this week, who had lost to Carolina the week before. So I still like Washington. I think that they got a real good team down there, and they're still a fun team.
Who are you picking, Steve?
I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. I think they get back on track. The tough loss to the Giants. Overall, the Chargers have looked good. I may have jinxed them. I said that I was doing my power rankings en route to tailgating yesterday, and I said, I think I put the Chargers at number 1. You remember last week we were tailgating in Foxborough, and we both agreed the Packers were top dog. and then they lost to the Browns.
Well,
so.
no, I always said the Eagles, but I said the Packers.
Well, we said the Packers.
One of the top.
We said they look Super Bowl good.
Yes.
And then they lose to the Browns. And then the Chargers lose to the Giants yesterday. But I think they rebound here.
So I think the
Washington.
Chiefs are definitely going to be in the Super Bowl. Hoping
Again?
for the jinx.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yeah, little reverse psychology.
Tough when the refs are the 12th man on that team.
All right.
Chargers.
All right, Chargers across the board it is. Andy agrees. I agree. Chargers. Sunday night football. Pats at Buffalo.
Boom, boom, boom,
All right,
boom,
first
boom.
let's get to our quick Patriots thoughts. I'll give you mine. I did not like the start of the season at all. That loss to the Raiders was horrid. They could have won that game a million different times. They should have won that game, I think. But, I mean, great win against the Carolina Panthers, but it's the Panthers, so take it with a grain of salt. Another game that was very frustrating was Week 3 against the Steelers. Another game they should have won. 5 turnovers. To witness that in person was not fun.
Nope.
I'm iffy on this team. I think, my initial prediction was 9-8, 8-9. I'm still kind of around there, but maybe a game or two lower. But they need to beat some good teams. They should be beating, if they want to be a competitor, they should be beating teams like the Raiders and the Steelers. So I guess we're going to see, because they got some good teams coming up in their schedule. So I guess we'll see. I'm very unsure about this Pats team as of right now. I don't really know what to expect, what they're going to be. I don't expect them to be a Super Bowl contender or anything like that. And, really never have since, Brady was a Patriot. But they're going to be somewhere probably in the middle. Hopefully not in the lower middle, but they very well could end up there. I don't think they have a chance to beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I am going Bills in this one. Andy agrees. He's going Bills. Steve, a Patriot thought and your pick.
So I know you want me to pick the Pats in here. I know you want me to, and I'm not going to. But to say that they just don't have a shot, I think that is grossly inaccurate. That even the last years when the Patriots had such lousy teams, they still played Buffalo tight.
Technically, anybody has a shot against anybody, is proven by the Panthers beating Atlanta 30-0.
Right.
But you know what I mean. I just think that the Bills are just too talented for this Patriots.
Yeah, the Bills are amongst the best teams in the entire league, and the Patriots, they're not quite there. It's a process. They're getting there. The win over the Panthers, and you say whatever you want about the Panthers, but in terms of looking good in all 3 phases of the game, I thought that was their best effort since 2022. And in terms of just putting together a complete game in all phases, so there really was, outside of the opening drive by the Panthers, there really was nothing to complain about yesterday. And, they were good on offense. Defense really locked down when they needed to. Special teams was amazing in that game, and it's stuff that we haven't seen in a while. So it's good. It's just it's good to see a competent football team in all 3 phases of the game.
Well, more competent for sure.
Yeah, it's just, and when you haven't seen it in a while, it's nice to see that, and it shows you that we can play very well. And yeah, the team could be 4-0 and whatever. We can dissect those losses to the Raiders and Steelers all we want. But I think offensively they've gotten better and better. You look at, I think there's a lot more balance with the play calling.
So because they beat the Panthers, that cancels out that horrid loss to the Steelers and the Raiders.
No, you are what your record says you are, as Coach Parcells would say. So they're 2-2.
So they're mediocre.
Yeah, but they've had a lot of teams in the past that are 2-2. They haven't been 2-2 since 2020, I believe. They've been 1-3 for the last handful of years. So
what about the Bengals year? Didn't they go 2-2?
No, they were 1-3 because they won Week 1 last year. Then they lost like 7 straight.
Well, okay.
So yes, it's one game,
Fair
but it's just so refreshing to see them play so well in all phases. First time scoring 40+ in 4 years. First time scoring 30+ in 3 years.
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to impress me, do something like that against a team like the Steelers, okay, or the Colts, or somebody that is decent. Doing that against the Carolina Panthers, great. Now do it against someone good. Let's see if
Well, we'll see what happens. And as to the game Sunday, I think the Bills will win, but I think it's going to be a very competitive game.
All right, Morgan.
I think you are underestimating what the Patriots have done this year. I thought the worst of the games was the Raiders game. That was a horrible game. It just, you let that team punch you in the face, and you weren't able to really get yourself back into a place where you could win. At least in the Steelers game, they had 5 turnovers, and they still had a chance to win the game. Mm-hmm. So that Steelers team, I think we're underestimating.
The defense. You're right. The defense deserves credit.
But the fumbles, they were on the end zone. You know, they were there.
Yeah.
They were ready to celebrate. You know, they were right there, and we got to give Pittsburgh some credit. That's a good team. Aaron Rodgers is really, doing some good things with the Steelers. They had a big win on in what was it, Ireland last week, or on Sunday, and then that Miami win, super impressive. Tom Brady had trouble trying to win in Miami, and these guys went into Miami and won a tough game, especially early. Anytime you play in Miami in September, if you come out with a win, you are a very, very good team. You're not used to the humidity, the cramping, and all that. They came out and they got a nice, gutsy win. I think that they're going to show something in the Bills game. I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they're going to show something. And I think the positive that comes from the game so far this year is now Josh McDaniels and Drake May can sit down and watch film that is like right now. Not film from last year, but film that are coachable moments that are going to get better right now. Drake May looked great against Carolina.
He did.
And Josh McDaniels, he's a Westwood Wolverine, and all we do at Westwood is we win. So he's a winner, and he's going to find a way to keep progressing and keep moving in the right direction. I will not be surprised if the Patriots go out and get the win on the road in Buffalo. I'm not willing to make that pick. I might change my mind. Are you guys daring me? Because if you dare me,
I triple dog dare you.
All right, we're going Patriots. Patriots for the win.
Wow, there it is.
Patriots for the win. Save the clip.
All right.
Save the clip.
All right. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm totally down on the Pats. I'm not. But I'm just saying you got to beat someone better to impress the Carolina Panthers. The Miami win was a good win. I kind of forgot about that for a second. But that was, I'd say, a more valuable win than, well, every win's valuable. But you know what I mean. A more prominent win than the Panthers, I would say. Dolphins are definitely a better team than the Panthers. So that was a good one. But I think they got to, show me a little more. Let's see what they do against a good team. They haven't proven they could beat a Raiders, Pittsburgh Steelers kind of team yet. So we'll see what they do down the stretch. Go Pats. Hope you upset Buffalo, but I'm picking Buffalo for the win. All right, Monday Night Football, Chiefs at the Jaguars. Is anyone going to dare take the Jaguars?
Nope.
I dare you, Morgan.
You could quadruple dog dare me, and I'm saying nothing.
All right, Chiefs across the board.
So since we've picked against Jacksonville, we have badmouthed them. I wonder if their coach is going to come here and scream at us like he did in San Fran yesterday.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah, for saying that they illegally steal signals and all that.
He'll bring it up at his next press conference.
Yeah, I love how the Jaguars have to have like a little post-game kerfuffle to get headlines. That's how irrelevant they've been for so long.
Local kid, Cohen.
Yeah.
UMass. His father was the coach at Salve Regina, my alma mater. Before I got there. But great history, local ties.
That is fantastic. All right, well, the show flew by. We're out of time. We have a couple of minutes for some real quick final thoughts. Steve, any final thoughts?
Go Sox, go Pats, and excited for the Bruins to start next week.
All right, Morgan.
Like we were saying with the high school sports, this is really where the season starts. When they say the Masters starts on Sunday on the back nine, this is where the high school sports season starts, is halfway through the year. Now you're seeing, are we going to make the playoffs or are we not? Are we ranked or we're not? Who is leading the TVL large and how many games back? And really kind of seeing all those scenarios. We're schemers when we look at it. This team's got to beat this team to see who's going to be the one that takes it all. And we see that path. That's how we saw Westwood girls softball a couple of years. Being co-champs with Hopkinton for softball 2 years ago. It was like Medfield's got to beat them on this day, and we're following. And everything happened. And then Westwood went out to beat Dedham that night and made it happen. So this is where we're really starting to see, the teams play their best parts of the schedule. where it's crunch time, and they got to beat the good teams. They got to get into the top of the mix. You want to get a home game too. Home games matter when it comes to the playoffs. So
Absolutely. Well, it's a fun time of year. NFL season, MLB playoffs. You're in the midst of the high school fall season. A lot of big games coming up absolutely everywhere. A good time to be a sports fan and, of course, be a sports fan in New England. So that is just about going to do it for the show here today. A big thank you to our crew, Dave McCarthy, Denise Antaki, Mike Tarosian, and for Morgan Donahue, Steve Watson, I'm Tom Nappi. And don't forget to check out our Hopkinton Hiller HCAM broadcast schedule at our website, hcam.tv, to find out what games we have coming up. A big thank you for tuning in. Take care, be well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. On Monday, September 22nd, Hiller girls soccer took on Bellingham and got the scoring started early and often.
Giving up a goal yet this season as they drive into the box. A shot there, and it's in. A quick score for the Hillers. And that is Ayla Chase with the score. So it's Natalie out there. Hillers approaching out in front, and it's put in. What a great feed. And that's going to be Riley Colleran on the score. Could say just go get it. And a lot of times the Hiller's able to meet the challenge as Colleran gets that one, and she'll put it in. Riley Colleran with her second goal of the game. It's been a relentless attack along the near side. Bellingham trying to move it out of that defensive zone. Stolen away by McNerney. And now charging in, Clement in the box. Nina Clement with a score! Around the defender she goes, into the net she goes at 23-42. Nice strong boot there into Bellingham territory. Here they come. Into the box is Sophia TZ, and she's got a goal! Sophia Zuganatis. More out of Sophia Zuganatis. Of course, she is the sister of Nina Zuganatis, who is a huge asset in this program. And how about another one for Sophia Zuganatis? Into the box. Gets around the defender, gets it back. Here's Marin. Takes the shot, and she's got it! Marin O'Connor with a score. A nice feed. On the end line, and she'll take the shot out in front, and that is in. Off the rebound, Sophia Zuganatis.
8 goals in the first half, and the Hillers took the win 10-0, improving to 6-0 on the season. The Hop